Hey guys, this is Neil Holland again with Big League Tips, and today we're going to talk about the two-seam fastball, pitch that I probably used most in my career. For a lot of my younger kids that I have, really don't like to talk a lot about two seams until you have enough speed to generate that amount of movement on a two seam. But if it does feel comfortable, if they like having their fingers right over the seams like this, or turning the ball like this over this way, which a lot of people sometimes confuse that as a four seam. This is also a two seam. A lot of the younger kids also like to use it like this. So like this is this, or this is kind of the two main ways to throw a two seam fastball. Getting back to this and the movement of it, once you do have enough speed and enough arm action to get some speed on this ball, we usually have a little bit different movement compared to the four-seam fastball. As it comes out your fingers at a little bit more of a three-quarter arm action, it kind of grabs the air, and if you are a righty, it wants to sink and go down to the right, kind of tail and sink down to the right. So if you're facing a right-handed hitter, they would see that pitch coming somewhat down the middle and it dropping kind of towards their knee or their shin that way. Or if you are a righty throwing to a lefty on the inside part of the plate, something that you could almost aim close to his hip based on the amount of movement that you have, and it can kind of run towards the inside to middle part of the plate. This is a pitch that can be used, depending on how much movement you have, as even a strikeout pitch. Maybe after the first four seam that you throw for the hitters to see different kind of movement, a different kind of pitch, and you still want to stay with fastballs, using a two seam after that in the middle part of the count or even the strikeout part of the count is a good way to get a strikeout or possibly even a ground ball out of the deal. As the ball's coming in, when it does tail, if it tails enough, you could really jam a lot of right-handed hitters or really get a lot of lefties to kind of take their butt out and swing out like that. A lot of times it's always good to keep this two seam below waist level, sometimes even below the knee, so even if these guys at the plate do hit the ball, they can hit a ground ball to third, ground ball to short, possibly get a double play out of the deal from middle school to high school on. So it's a very good pitch if we know how to accept the movement and to understand what that type of two-seam does. To kind of start out with some of my younger elementary to middle school kids with a two-seam, I do usually start them with this type of grip where the middle finger and index finger is right on both of the two seams. Just like this, we can still generate a lot of movement, a lot of downward action with this pitch, or with this one, pretty far apart from each other. And just when we do get older into high school and possibly even college, sometime to kind of play around with taking our middle finger off and putting that in the middle, or even taking our index finger off and putting that in the middle where our fingers are a little bit close together, can get sometimes some different movement on the ball. Sometimes having the index finger on the seam and the middle finger in the middle can sometimes generate a little bit more drop and less tail. All depends on the size of your fingers and also your arm action. If we're a little bit higher of an arm action, you may get less tail, but a lot more drop on that two seam. And I am more of a three-quarter kind of guy over here, so I didn't have the most drop, but I did have a lot of tail into a righty and tail away from a lefty. I do have a lot of my high schoolers and even college guys throw it this way. This may be the comfortability factor with this pitch of still having both of your fingertips right over the seam like this, which kind of feels like a four seam, but we still get that two seam movement just like that. Okay, if you have any more comments on a two seam, on different kind of arm actions to do it with, or different ways to throw it, feel free to comment below. You can also go on the digital coaching for any kind of feedback and check out the rest of the website. All right, thanks.